Hey guys, Daniel here and welcome back to another video. Here today we're going to be going through my expectations and what to watch during Voyager Digital's Q4 earnings report, which comes out this Monday, March 1st, after market close at around 4 p.m. And there is also a conference call scheduled at around 5 p.m. I really recommend anyone who is at least interested in Voyager or invested in Voyager to tune into this conference call. This is going to be big. This is where we're going to get a majority of Voyager's announcements. If you want to access this conference call, either go to Voyager Digital's Investor Relations at the time that the conference call takes place, so 5 p.m. this Monday, or if you want to actually tune in on your phone, you can also do that. If you want more information, check the description. So first thing to watch is going to be Voyager Digital's revenue. Now, Voyager Digital has already come out and said that they're expecting to do around $3.5 million for quarter 4 of 2020. So we kind of get a sense of what Voyager Digital's revenue will be for that quarter. And this is something that is expected. So when we look at Analysts Expectations, they're pretty much right in line with that $3.5 million. One analyst put $4 million. We'll see if that happens, but we're kind of expecting around 3.5 million. That's what the market's expecting, and I'm not assuming that there will be a beat on that. Now, analysts are expecting a revenue, or not a revenue loss, but for Voyager to be unprofitable this quarter. I agree with that. I think either this quarter or quarter 2 of 2021 is where Voyager starts to show a profit, positive net income. I think this will be a huge inflection point. But again, I don't think this is the quarter here, as Voyager Digital's model back in December, November, and October wasn't as scaled and built out as it is now. So one thing that we can watch, though, is actually Voyager Digital's gross margin. This will be the time where we can actually look and get a sense of where their gross margin is. Now, I talked to Steve Ehrlich on a kind of like a webinar that he was doing and asked about gross margin. And he said it's around 70 to 80%. So it will be very interesting to hop onto that, that annual report and actually take a look at what the gross margin is. And then obviously from that, we'll get a sense of, how much Voyager Digital is spending on, expenses related to research and development or advertisements or general and administrative expenses, things along those lines. That's definitely something to watch, that gross margin. If it isn't 70 to 80%, we might have a problem, and I might have to adjust my long-term and short-term targets when it comes to Voyager. So in my opinion, this is going to be a very forward-looking quarter. I don't think a lot of emphasis is going to be put onto what Voyager did in October, November, and December. I think a lot of emphasis will be put onto what Voyager did in January and February, as well as what they expect to do for the following year. This is something to note, as Voyager's business model has really exploded over the past couple months. So one thing that we can expect is an announcement to February revenue. Now, I'm expecting this to be around $15 million, up from $8.5 million in January. Again, this kind of plays to that idea of why this will be a forward-looking quarter. They did $3.5 million in October, November, and December combined. They did $8.5 million in January, expected at least $15 million in February. Now, this is my expectation. I'm using this based off of their kind of recent report where they said for the first 4 days of February, they did around $2.5 million in revenue. So, obviously I took the amount of days in February, multiplied that, and we get around 15 million. So in my opinion, I think this is kind of like a base. Voyager will do at least $15 million. I could definitely see them doing 20 million, 22 million possibly. And if they do that, that's big, and I'm going to have to make adjustments to my model, as that will significantly increase kind of the revenue run rate of Voyager at this current moment. Another update that we can watch for is an update on assets under management. Now, this is important as it is essentially the amount of customer assets held within Voyager. Last time we got an update on this was not too long ago, February 16th of 2021. At the time, assets under management were at 1.15 billion, up 5x since the last day of December. Absolutely huge growth. And the reason I'm kind of emphasizing this is we'll get an idea of what happened to this asset under management figure over the past 2 weeks, which is going to be important. I could see assets under management going to maybe 1.3, 1.4, heck, maybe even $1.5 billion. Again, the higher that is, the more revenue Voyager will inevitably do. And it's obviously very good for the business. So that's one thing to watch, the growth in assets under management. So using these kind of revenue numbers and assets under management numbers that we will receive in this conference call, we'll be able to figure out an assets under management figure, or an assets under management monetization rate. What this is essentially the percentage of their assets under management that go directly to revenue every year. Let me use an example. In January, this was around 20%, meaning that for every $100 of customer assets held within Voyager, they make around $20 per year. That is obviously at January's pace. Management expects this to drop to 10 to 12% over time as the cryptocurrency market becomes more efficient, and this is generally going to contract over time as users increase and as the cryptocurrency market gains traction. So management expects this to go to around 10 to 12%. Now this is something to watch. If this stays around 20%, this is incredible. If it goes above 20%, wow. And honestly, I'd be fine if this kind of decreased just a little, but I would want an explanation from management as to why it went down and kind of a clarification as to why they think 10 to 12% is kind of that base. But again, this is one figure to watch as it is really important and shows the correlation between their assets under management and their revenue. Next thing that we want to watch for is an update on Voyager Digital's platform backlog. Now, back kind of in end of January, that time frame, they experienced an unprecedented amount of demand, a huge amount of accounts and a huge amount of new users coming onto the platform every single day. This caused the platform to crash, and since then, they've rebooted the platform, reinstalled new servers, but also uploaded a waitlist to prevent this type of problem. Now, I want to know when this waitlist is going to get removed and when this kind of new capacity that they're aiming to hit will happen. They're saying that after these new servers are installed, they'll be able to handle 10 million active customers at one time, which honestly is 100x from where they are currently, so not too much of a worry for at least the next few years. So again, I want an update on that, how it's going, how much longer this waitlist will last. So next thing we can look at is user growth. This is going to be big as well as user growth, again, directly correlated to revenue. On February 4th, Voyager had around 104,000 active accounts. In my opinion, it's going to go up significantly since then. I'm expecting at least a few tens of thousands of new accounts signed up for Voyager within the past month. So we'll get a sense of user growth as well. That's one big thing to watch. So obviously given all of these numbers, we might also want to expect some 2021 guidance. Now, again, Voyager, they've released kind of very vague statements as to they want their assets under management to hit a 3 or 4x. They said that about a month or two ago. And kind of very vague statements every now and then on webinars or things along those lines. But we haven't really gotten any official guidance from Voyager yet. And that would be very great, as it would allow me to kind of estimate and make my models when it comes to Voyager's revenue and price targets much clearer. So I'm hoping for some 2021 guidance when it comes to assets under management, or customers, or possibly revenue. We'll see what ends up happening, but I'm really looking forward to this guidance and hearing what they have to say for the next year here. Now, international expansion is something that Voyager plans to do over the next year here. Canadian expansion is expected around March, April, and European expansion is expected throughout the summer. Now, it would be great to have an update on this, how their license and filings with the different exchange commissions are going. This will be big as an update for Voyager and give us a sense of when they will be expanding into Canada or expanding into Europe or expanding into New York. That's the one state they're not in because of a few regulatory issues. But we want updates on this. We want to know how it's going, because obviously this is going to be a big kind of revenue opportunity for Voyager and open up a giant total addressable market for them, not just within the United States, but internationally, which is big. Now also, new product launches, we'll get an update, I'm assuming, on different products. The desktop app is something they haven't released yet. It's in beta currently. How's that going? Is there a timeline for the launch of this? Obviously, they have a bunch of different new products, debit cards, credit cards, margin, new asset listings, possibly an update on equities. Voyager Digital plans to expand to equity trading eventually, stocks. How is that going? What's the plan for that? When do you plan to release that? These are all things that we want to watch this upcoming earnings report. So anyways, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Again, make sure to tune into that conference call when it takes place, and tune into my channel either later that night or possibly on Tuesday. We'll see. I'm definitely going to make an update video once they report these numbers. It's going to be a huge day for Voyager as a company and obviously for shareholders as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Smash the thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content, and have a great day.